Two people meet, they talk, they like each other, and over time, naturally, trust grows between them. That story is a myth. Trust doesn't grow. It gets tested systematically without warning. And here's what makes this unsettling. The people testing you have no idea they're doing it. It's not a strategy. It's not manipulation. It's something far older than that. It's the human brain doing what it has always done. Protecting itself. Behind every relationship you've ever had, every friendship, every romance, every professional alliance, there is a silent protocol running in the background. A biological security system so old it predates language, predates civilization, predates everything we call modern. This protocol has 5 stages. Most people will never know they exist. They'll spend their entire lives failing tests they didn't know they were taking, losing relationships they didn't know they were losing, and blaming it on chemistry, on timing, on bad luck. This is the instruction manual they never got. Let's go back to where this actually starts. 50,000 years ago, a group of early humans, 20, 30 people, surviving together in a world designed to kill them. In that world, trusting the wrong person wasn't painful, it was fatal. Share your food with someone who won't share back when you're starving. Reveal your injury to someone who uses it against you. Sleep when you should be watching because you believed someone was watching for you. The human brain solved this problem with an automatic evaluation system, constant, invisible. It doesn't ask permission to run. That system never went away. We didn't evolve past it. We dressed it in modern clothing. We call it intuition. We call it a vibe. We call it something felt off about them. It's a 5-stage test, and it runs on a schedule. This is the first default setting. Stage 1, the reaction test. It starts before you even realize the relationship has begun. Something small happens. You're slightly late. A joke misses. You forget something minor. Nothing dramatic, but the other person's brain locks in immediately, not on the mistake, on what you do next. Do you over-apologize? Collapse into excessive guilt? That reads as instability. Do you deflect entirely, laugh it off, redirect the blame? That reads as dangerous. Or do you acknowledge it cleanly? No theater, no performance, and move on. That third response is what the primitive brain registers as reliable. Because a stable person is a predictable person, and a predictable person is a safe person. This test runs in under 30 seconds. It can define years of relationship. Stage 2, the secret test. At some point, the other person tells you something small, apparently small, a detail about their family, a fear they downplay while telling it. A moment of vulnerability wrapped in casual language. They're not telling you because they trust you. They're telling you to find out if they can. The brain is running 3 checks simultaneously. Do you repeat it? Even innocently, even accidentally, access is immediately revoked. Do you weaponize it later, in an argument, in a joke? That's a deeper breach. The brain never forgets. And the third check, the one most people miss entirely. Do you actually listen? Not wait, listen. There's a difference. Waiting is holding silence while thinking about what you'll say next. Listening is going quiet enough inside your own head that what they're saying actually lands. The brain can feel the difference, even when it can't explain it. And here's the hidden mechanism. If weeks later you remember, without being reminded, something unlocks. Because being remembered means you were truly heard, and in human experience, being truly heard is so rare it registers not as a pleasant moment, but as something close to revelation. That is when real trust begins. Stage 3, the pressure test. This is the one that separates people permanently. At some point, the other person goes through something hard. Not a catastrophe, just a period of wait. A draining professional situation, a family tension, a week where everything feels like too much, and they let you see a crack of it. What they're measuring isn't your advice, it isn't your solutions, it's your presence. Do you disappear, suddenly busier, slower to reply, vague about plans? The brain files it, available only in good weather. Do you flood them with fixes, immediately reframe the problem, offer solutions, explain why it's not that bad? That's not support. That's discomfort management. Yours. You're fixing the problem so you can stop feeling uncomfortable about their pain. Or do you stay? without flinching, without rushing to exit the discomfort, without making it about yourself. Research in attachment theory is consistent on this. The single greatest predictor of deep trust isn't shared experiences or personality compatibility. It's perceived reliability during difficulty, not heroism. Just, you were there when it was hard. Those who disappear at stage 3 rarely understand what happened. They notice months later that something closed. They blame drift. They blame life getting busy. It wasn't drift, it was a verdict. Stage 4, the boundary test. By now there's real familiarity, inside jokes, shared history, a comfort that developed without anyone planning it. And that warmth is exactly what triggers stage 4, because the brain, even in close relationships, needs to know, where does this person end? Do they have edges? Do they have a self that doesn't simply mold itself to what I want? So the other person pushes, just slightly. A request that's a little too much, a joke that goes a little too far, a plan that assumes your availability without asking. They're not being cruel, they don't even know they're doing it, but they're watching, and the question their brain is running is, does this person have a shape? Here is the truth, most people spend years learning the hard way. Saying yes to everything does not make you more trusted, it makes you less. A person who never pushes back has no interior. They're a mirror, not a person. And you cannot trust a mirror the way you trust a person, because a mirror has no independent reality. When you say no, not aggressively, not with a lecture, but cleanly, grounded, you become real. That doesn't work for me. The answer is no. That sends a signal the other person's brain receives immediately. This person knows who they are. When they say yes, they mean it. When they make a promise, it's real. That kind of person is safe to rely on. Stage 5, the time test. The final stage has no start date and no finish line. It's not a moment, it's a pattern, tracked across years. Are you the same person in private that you are in public? Does your warmth shift when you're no longer getting something from the relationship? Are you present only in the chapters of someone's life that are interesting or useful to you? You cannot fake this one. You can perform stage 1 once. You can manage stage 2 for a few months, but you cannot sustain a false identity across years. Eventually, who you actually are bleeds through. Deep trust, the kind that survives years of silence and picks up exactly where it left off, is not built in grand gestures. It's built in 1,000 small moments where you did what you said you'd do, where you checked in without being asked, where you stayed consistent whether you needed something or not. Nobody tracks these consciously, but the brain keeps a running total, and at some point, without ceremony, a threshold is crossed. Here is the complete architecture, 5 tests, 5 filters, running automatically in every relationship you'll ever have. Reaction, secret, pressure, boundary, time. These patterns repeat across every culture, every civilization, every era of human history. In ancient Rome, in a startup in 2024, in a text thread between 2 people who met last month. The protocol never changes, only the setting does. And here is what this space never tells you. Knowing the protocol doesn't let you cheat it. You cannot simulate stability for years. You cannot fake genuine listening indefinitely. You cannot manufacture limits you don't actually hold. The default settings read below behavior. They detect the gap between what you project and what you are, often before you detect it yourself. The only way to pass all 5 stages is not to learn how to pass them. It's to become the person who passes them naturally. Right now, someone in your life is somewhere inside these 5 stages with you. You don't know which one, you might not know who, but a test is in progress, a brain is processing data, a verdict is forming, and the only thing that determines the outcome isn't your charm, your intelligence, or how much you want them to trust you. It's the person you are when there's nothing to gain from being it. Who is that person? Because that's exactly who they're seeing.